Okay, you're live.
All right, we're live. Okay. All right. It's about 11:42 a.m. Special call meeting, Commissioner Court, Liberty County, Texas. 19th day of March, and we just only have one item on the agenda, and that is a resolution by the Liberty County Commissioners Court to oppose the letter of permission applied for in Permit Application SWG-2015-00855 with the United States Army Corps of Engineers. The reason for this is the dumping in Liberty County of dangerous dredge materials from the San Jacinto River in Harris County, Texas. So Commissioner Arthur's on the phone with us. You can still hear us, Greg?
I'm here, yes, sir.
All right. And Commissioner Wilson is on Zoom with us. And of course, Commissioner Karpowski's here. Commissioner Whitmire is not. So we do have a quorum established, even though this is a resolution, so we're in good shape there. Some of the things that I'm sure everybody's heard. What's going on? And there's I think the word is vehement opposition to this. That's probably the nicest way I can put it. And, but the other side of it is we got notification pretty late in the game, but everybody rallied, and thank y'all all very much for doing so. It's called teamwork, and teamwork does work. So anyway, I'm quite certain that a number of letters of opposition have been sent to the Army Corps of Engineers, and we'll await what their findings are once they receive all the information they need. But we're going to send some information as well. Okay, so I guess we can read the resolution, Matthew. Sure. Okay, and there'll be some other things to discuss here, but as far as anyone wanting to bring hazardous waste to Liberty County, this is our first time we've seen this. But I'm hoping this will be the last for sure. Our resolution reads, whereas the Commissioners Court of Liberty County has been made aware through local media that an interagency coordination notice for letter of permission has been given regarding the application number SWG-2015-00855. Whereas neither the Commissioners Court of Liberty County nor any of its members were notified directly of this application, and were it not for local media, the court would not have been made aware of the situation. Whereas information supplied in the notice indicates that should the Army Corps of Engineers approve the permit, a large amount of dredge material will be taken from areas along the San Jacinto River in close proximity to declared Superfund sites and taken for final surface level disposal on property located in Dayzetta, Texas, inside Liberty County. Whereas the notice provides that this project is located within the area of concern for San Jacinto River Waste Pit Superfund site, whereas the EPA's website lists dioxin as a class of dangerous chemicals found at the San Jacinto River Waste Pit Superfund site, whereas the EPA's website states that dioxins are highly toxic and can cause cancer, reproductive and developmental problems, damage to the immune system, and can interfere with hormones. Whereas the EPA's website discloses that water wells neighboring the San Jacinto River Waste Pit Superfund site contain dioxin contamination. Whereas it appears that the notice involves an attempt to remediate dioxin contamination in the San Jacinto River by bringing the contaminants to Liberty County. Whereas the location of the planned disposal of the docks and infused dredge material is in an area that consistently has standing water and is located within or immediately adjacent to a 100-year floodplain. And whereas the location of the planned disposal involves an area with a relatively shallow water table. Whereas the presence of docks in this area poses a serious threat of contamination outside the boundaries of the disposed site and poses a serious risk of contaminants leaking into nearby water wells. Therefore, be it resolved that the undersigned officials of Liberty County do hereby express their strong opposition to the approval of permit application number SWG-2015-00855 and its attempt to bring dangerous contaminants to Liberty County. It will be my question for the commissioners to pass and approve this resolution. Now, I know there's a lot of folks here that probably like to say something. If you would like to, would welcome you to do so, even though you haven't had the opportunity to sign up to speak. I think we can make an exception at this point. But we also, Commissioner Korbowski and Mr. Tucker, thank you, John, for y'all going out. We do have a video that we can actually play showing a drone flyover the area after just a half-inch rain. It's revealing too. So it just depends on if anyone would like to speak, you may do so. The other side of it is we're going to put everything into this packet that we can to get our point across.
Judge,
Yes, ma'am.
are you calling people to speak?
Yes, ma'am. I sure am. Ms. Peggy, come on up if you would, please.
Hi, Sandy Pickett.
Can you come up a little bit?
Yes.
We're gonna get you on camera. We're gonna get you on
Oh,
camera.
Leon's on that go.
Yes, ma'am.
You want me to bring my mask?
No, ma'am, you're okay.
Thank you, guys.
You're okay. I've had one.
Okay. So where?
Oh,
The camera.
Oh, okay.
right there's a great spot. Thank
Right
you.
there's a great spot.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Sandy Pickett. I just want to thank the Commissioners Court and the media for bringing this to the attention of the residents of Liberty County. It's ironic, it was about 40 years ago that I was involved in the hazardous waste issues that were being brought for Liberty County at that time. First in Dayton, then in Devers, and then back in Dayton. And I think your dad was probably involved in that.
He was.
A lot of names that y'all would recognize, but it's just amazing. 40 years ago, and here we are again with not exactly the same thing, but similar enough that it's important for the Liberty County, people of Liberty County to rally and fight against this. It has the potential of being very dangerous. It has not been identified as hazardous waste, but we know it is very close to a Superfund site, and we know the flood conditions around the San Jacinto River. So there's no way that this would not be contaminated with hazardous waste. And I just want to applaud the Commissioners Court and the media for getting a jump start on this. We may have to be organized for a long time to fight these folks. It took us probably over 10 years when we formed People Against a Contaminated Environment to fight the hazardous waste issues. But we were ultimately successful. We spent 40 days in this court, this very courtroom, fighting that battle. We had that battle transferred to Liberty so that people could come and be part of it. 40 days. It was the longest hearing in the history of the Texas Air Control Board, which that agency does not exist. But it will be a fight. It will be a fight, and I just hope you keep up the good work and keep the flag flying.
There's a lot of fighters around here.
And thank you. I know that. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Can I be heard?
Please.
Hi, my name is Donna Zephet, and
Get right this way, about close to the microphone right here. So.
my name is Donna Zephet, and I am actually a resident of Harris County. I live in a little city called LaPorte. In LaPorte, they have dioxides in the water from when they dredge the channel through there. This is definitely dangerous to aquatic animals. It has no business being in Liberty County. This is a Harris County problem, and Harris County needs to take care of it.
Yes, ma'am.
That I'm really, I live in Harris County and I'm saying this. This is not a Liberty County. And there's too much wildlife and too much at stake to have toxicity here. The area that they're talking about doing, like you said, that's a floodplain. There's standing water out there all the time. There is no way that that is not going to leach this year, next year, whenever they do it. At some point, it will leach into the water system, and that's not okay.
I'll agree with you. Thank you. Mr. Tucker, come on up, visit with Smith.
How you doing, Judge?
Doing great.
So my name is Deputy John Tucker. I'm one of the deputy constables for Precinct 2, which also is the coverage area of Devers. I'm also a resident of Devers. I have small children who go to school and grow up in Devers. I'm very close to possibly getting on the lease that this is proposed to be dumped on, and I personally probably wouldn't feed an animal to my family that is possibly drinking the water or living off the forage where this is dumped. I had the privilege of going out and flying this with a drone 2 days ago. And I mean, if you guys could see the video, after just a half inch of rain, an hour, there's no controlling the fluid, the water. I don't care if you're talking about burn or whatever they're talking about putting out there. But I'm just hoping that within the power of our commissioners, the county judge, the county attorneys, that the voice of the people who live in Devers don't bring the trash out there where we're at. You know, I don't want my kids growing up in it. I think our community is going to talk pretty loud. I'll do everything I can to help our mayor or anything to help the county. So I just want to voice my opinion. I got small kids. I don't want growing up in it.
Same here. I will have great kids.
Judge.
Yeah. Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
I think we do have that video. Matthew, are you gonna share that?
Let's wait. Lee and I were just talking about how to, oh yeah, the PC's there. I keep forgetting.
I haven't tried this, so. It's a
Also,
little
while I'm
guy.
sitting, I'd like
Oh, here we
Is there something
go.
on the
Yeah, that's
side?
what I said.
See if you put it in.
Steve, recognize exactly who you are.
There he is.
He is a lot of great work from him that he's doing, the town is doing out there, and also helping us stop this. Since they are in the main line,
Yes,
of
so.
the water flowing down.
Yeah, there you go. Open folder. Yeah. Yep. Now make sure you're sharing screen on YouTube.
Yeah, that's gonna be tricky.
So, yeah, you go down to Zoom.
Is nice about this as some of the others are. It's where it says share screen down
Yeah,
there.
right.
Okay, first get the video running. Double click on it.
Very good.
Okay, now go back into hit share screen on Zoom.
Here, hit pause real quick before, sorry.
You see, it's right in the middle, John. Now, you know
I
what?
think we can spin that around a little bit too, so that
Yeah, click that one. Okay.
That work?
Yeah, you make it where you can.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I'm trying to get it.
Okay, can we go back and start it again? Yeah, hit the thing in the middle. Hi. You're sharing screen, okay.
There you go.
the little half-inch rain that we experienced Wednesday, wasn't it? Yes. Tucker and I went out there. You can see in between the trees, all the water besides the little creek that's back there.
Is that standing water, Commissioner?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can see it in between the trees.
And this is the exact GPS locations that was provided for the actual dump site.
Judge, can I add something?
Yes, ma'am.
When Pace was opposing the hazardous waste site in Devers, one of the things that we leaned on very hard was the fact that the overflow from these areas of wetlands would go into Pine Island biome. And that brings it into Jefferson County.
Yes, ma'am.
And we got a lot of support from Jefferson County in fighting this
And they
issue.
are
because
supporting
they
this
are
effort.
impacted too.
Judge Grant has offered a letter of support as well as Judge
Right.
Cynthia. And my anticipation is that Chambers County Commissioners Court will also offer a resolution as well.
Do you mean that water drains east,
South.
south?
Southeast, it's from that location there. You can just see the water that's all out in those trees.
So kind of towards Wing?
Yes.
Yes, then, yeah, when you're in a way. And Comer.
But if there were a elevation in between that water and the highway, that water's got diverted somewhere. Resident.
I mean, just the thinking water goes into a residential area.
Yeah, one of the, so the San Jacinto River waste pit, which is nearby to where they're dredging, indeed gave us discussed about $100,000. There's a lot of other talks around
Zeba, I think it's finished. Zeba wants.
When I get back to the main road, I'm at an elevation of 400 feet right here. When I get back to the main road where they've logged, they've already clear cut the 10 feet across the other side of the road.
Yeah.
You're gonna really be able to see the water because you're not gonna have all the greenery that's blocking the view. And I mean, it's just a 10-foot road or so that's between the wooded side and the already cut side. So you'll get a better view of exactly how much water is actually on the ground after just a half inch of rain.
Is it my imagination or is there standing water underneath that?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's all wetlands, yeah.
Is that like a black gumbo soil?
Yes, very much so.
So it's like clay and it'll hold whatever's been water there for a long time or.
I believe it was a 50 acre tract, right, Commissioner?
Yeah, 50 acre tract was out there. They only proposed the 5 acres, but they bought 50.
Plenty of room to expand.
Yeah. Going back up to the road.
So that's the main road right there, and the other side you can see where it's clear cut.
What they plan to use it for 5 acres for.
Is that the road near Devers Canal office?
That
Yes,
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 yes, it just turns into a gravel road once you get past. It's a little further north on both gates.
Is that water standing in the road too, John?
Yes, sir. It was right after a rain,
Yeah.
Judge.
Okay. So right in front of the truck that's pulled into the.
Yeah, that's
That's where the new fence is.
That's my truck there, and that's where I took the pictures of the signs.
Yeah.
Right there.
Okay.
Standing water in the field.
Correct. That's a ditch. That's a ditch right there, just off the road, and then everything is saying south on the
So that's a
TV.
half inch rain?
That's a half inch.
So a lot of that water was,
Now we started filming at the exact location of the GPS.
yes.
Wow.
So there are a couple of creeks around there?
Yes. Yeah, you gotta go across 2 bridges just to get to that.
Just to get to where they
They want
are.
to make some creeks.
I've been only a couple of miles across.
And just to get to that dump site, they're gonna have to go across a wooden bridge that, I mean, you're skeptic to drive a 4-wheeler across it. I can only imagine what they're gonna do, trying to haul in something with it.
I have to drive across that and I have to, like, it's scary.
You did see that bridge, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the bridge you have to cross to get to it. I got it all over.
You're gonna bring a truck.
Well, I'm sure.
Yeah, they would have to be enforced, we do that.
Ask you.
Right now, my husband's just, clearing some of it out for-
Good grief.
Okay.
Judge, one more comment?
Yes,
Who do I face?
just right there, straight in.
My name is Ron Blake. I've been drinking Devers well water since I was, I don't know, 3 years old in 1949, and I still drink it. Friend of mine, Nadine Wilburn, has a little place in Devers, and I go out and fill a gallon of Devers well water periodically, just visit with it. And that well water tastes just like it did in 1949. The threat to the whatever aquifer, whatever source of that well water is, we don't even want to get close to that. This is an extraordinarily important and emotional issue, not just for me, but for anybody that cares about clean water. And I assure you that if you'll pay me $5, I'll bring you a gallon of Devers well water, and you'll agree with me. That's it. Thank you, Judge. And thank you all in the Commissioner's Court for challenging this and not just rolling over. Thank you very much.
I did pose a few questions to our consulting engineer group with LJ Engineering about the location, and looking at the permit, and then some of these following observations and questions were brought to our attention. How are they going to manage drainage? Well, we know what drainage is in Liberty County. It's tough to mitigate anything right now, especially with flat land like we have. Will they be clearing trees and placing fill dredge material on the existing grades? Will there be a perimeter berm to contain the dredge flow? How are they mitigating the increased runoff from the cleared and graded site? How is off-site runoff being managed? The fill site can be a violation of the state water code by diverting water from off-site onto adjacent property owners. We get this an awful lot, just in any kind of development. Texas Water Code 11.086 says, overflow caused by diversion of water. A, no person may divert or impound the natural flow of surface waters in this state, or permit a diversion or impounding by him to continue in a manner that damages the property of another by the overflow of the water diverted or impounded. Also, this is the biggest question I can think of. Have they provided a drainage analysis with a no adverse statement? I don't think I've seen that yet. So these are just some more questions that we have that we will be posing to the Corps of Engineers. And we understand that the Corps of Engineers collects all the information that we send, any letters of opposition or any other information that they can receive to either support or object to this permit. Matthew, would you have anything else you would think of?
No, I think that covers it. Well, I guess the only thing I might add is, at least my understanding at this point is that there's kind of two paths of permit applications along the Corps of Engineers on something like this.
Yeah.
One involves a full environmental study, engineering study, and one does not. The path that this appears to be on is one where the applicant more or less, or the applicant more or less says, hey, we don't expect that there's going to be any problems with this, that there's going to be any public opposition, et cetera. And so we can just do this. And that's kind of the representation that's being made. So I want to thank Commissioners Corp, but also members of the public who are raising this matter, and contacting U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. If you haven't, then I encourage everyone to send out an email immediately. I think it's Mr. Payton, with the Army Corps of Engineers. Send an email, if you need any help on that, I'm happy.
Do we have this information anywhere online so that they can go in?
Yes. I think we're gonna need some help.
There's a whole article.
Yes.
And links.
Yeah, so, find it, and if you can't, let me know, and I will help you do that.
Well, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to accept the resolution and approve the resolution to oppose this proposed dump.
Hear that, Greg?
I did not, I wrote up there.
Okay, Bruce made the motion to accept the resolution and approve it as such. Leon, you still there too?
I still do.
Was that a second? I believe it was a second. Okay.
See it a windstorm or what?
I believe he is. All right, we got a motion and a second to accept and pass this resolution as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, opposed. All right. Therefore, it does pass, and we will submit this resolution to the Army Corps of Engineers with our projections. Turn the grade down a little bit more. Let's keep it up. What Matthew was talking about a while ago, we had no idea that this was going on. And it wasn't until I got notification from Mayor Devers that and some other groups that, hey, what is this? And that was like a Saturday afternoon. And that's when everybody started really getting into this, and looking for the answers to the questions. Of course, when I talked to Mr. David with the Army Corps of Engineers, basically it's like Matthew had explained, they don't have to ask us in this form of a request for permit. Now, I believe they are required to notify contiguous landowners to the site, but not the county and not the city. Not any mayor in this county received notification, and not any commissioner or myself received any notification either until we raised the issue. So that's how this works. So once again, not gonna get on my soapbox, but I am just for a minute. Watch land transfers in your area. Somebody sells property, know them. Find out what they're gonna do with it. I can just imagine that the majority of the property that is contiguous to this particular 50-acre site, it either's gonna be absentee landowners or hunting clubs and such that nobody really pays attention to. So why not? Why not give it a try? And this particular aspect was a low-lying fruit method. Well, I believe if we get these all of our opposition turned in correctly to the Army Corps of Engineers, then it will be reviewed favorably as the way we would look at it instead of the easy way out. And we're not going to take the easy way out of this by any means. All right, so we have a resolution that's been passed. I'll sign this. I'll get it to Ms. Chambers. Today is 19th. Yeah.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nay. We go for.
Thank y'all very much.